I noticed on that you guys are implementing a new drone technology, and that looked really amazing. Like you're on the cutting edge of security. Tell us about what we're doing in Broward schools to make sure our kids come home.
So obviously, in today's climate, we take security as a top priority, right? There is no such thing as too much security and making sure that our kids are kept safe. Obviously, within the confines of a budget that we're dealing with, we have to be mindful about how much we're spending. But to me, security has to be a top priority.
Yeah.
Right? It has to. You have to be comfortable as a parent that when you entrust your kids to us as a district to go out and learn in our schools, that they're going to be coming home and having dinner with you that same night. So the drones, obviously, that provides perspectives that the human eye can't get. We also have partnerships with all of our municipal police departments.
Well, I guess it's a panic button is attached to it.
And we do have the new strategic panic buttons
for the teachers,
which is for the teachers. Exactly.
So it's like on their person, or how does that work?
So they have to either strip it or attach it to their clothes, or most of them wear the lanyards with their ID badges. And there is a button that you press.
Wow.
And based on the circumstances and the number of presses that you make on the button, will dictate the emergency. So, for instance, if someone has goes into a diabetic coma or diabetic shock, you press the button a certain amount of times, and the authorities will be notified, and the ambulance will be sent to the school. If you press it a certain amount of times during, God forbid, a weapon situation or a shooter situation, the school will automatically go to lockdown.
Wow.
The authorities will be notified in a matter of minutes, and help will be on the way.
Wow.
We learned a lot from the tragedy at Stoneman Douglas. And, one of the things that always stuck out to me that was just horrific was the amount of time it took for the reinforcements, if you will, to arrive. And, you're always left wondering, like, geez, what had happened if someone had been there just a little bit earlier.
Well, the drone seems like it's going to solve that problem. I mean,
Absolutely.
it can ram somebody at 60 miles an hour, or something like that.
It's
got defensive capacity, right?
Everything that we're doing is designed to keep all of our kids safe. Every school has.
I mean, we're at a point in history where I think we should be able to, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's unacceptable that we don't have metal. I mean, there's metal detectors, I guess, in all the schools now, correct?
And not in all the schools, but in some of the schools. But we also have in all the schools our single point of entry, meaning basically there's one way in and one way out. We have fences and proper perimeters to make sure that the property is not breached. We have protocols in place. We have security monitors and security specialists that are constantly roaming all of the school properties. So we do, and then obviously the technology and stuff like that with the cameras and drones and things of that nature. So we do take security and safety very serious at the district, as we should.
As you should.
As we should.
Do you also have a special way to identify students that could be, say, not a suspect, but problematic, or somebody that could lead to a school shooter? Is there some sort of profiling there?
So I don't want to get too deep into some of the more sensitive stuffs that we utilize, but I will tell you, I've seen some of the technology we have firsthand, and the CSI stuff, and it's really, really cool, and it's really, really advanced.
Yeah, I mean, in a world of facial recognition, and everyone knows who we are to some degree, right? I mean, I'm sure there's able cross checks to see social media and things like that. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a part of the school board. I'm just speculating from what I know from security, right? But I actually do have a question for the drones. Like, is it a 24-hour monitoring service that's watching watching the kids, or is it video?
So it's not 24 hours. It's the company that we've been in.
It's in a box, right? And it kind of flies out when there's a problem. If the panic button's been pushed a certain number of times,
so
for a high level of emergency, I'm assuming. Right?
So, and we also have monitoring. That these things offer, and these guys are FAA approved, which is like a thing now,
and they're fearless
to pilot these things, right? So everything has to be on the table, and like I said, there are a few secrets which I'm not going to divulge to for obvious reasons,
but it should make parents more comfortable.
Exactly. The technology is there, and we are utilizing every avenue available to us for sure.
I love that.
For sure.
Amazing. Now one of the things I looked up on TikTok, top thing innovation was the SEED program here, and I was talking to you about it. And I think it's a really great program. It's in middle schools, mindfulness, nutrition, connection to the nature, treating other people with respect. What have you said you did a little bit of research on? Tell us what you found.
So this is a program that is within our Title I schools, right? And it offers a 6-week curriculum incorporating, like what Will suggested, the mindfulness and sort of holistic ways to go about learning and in eating and just really approaching life in general.
Life skills.
Life skills. Because I think the problem that you have, minor, I wouldn't say it's an epidemic or anything like that. The problem you have with some of our kids is, they may be really smart.
Yeah.
They may come out of school with really good grades, but there's more to life than sometimes just being a bookworm,
Sure.
right? You have to be able to interact and you have to be able to socialize with others. I mean, if you're really smart and you're on a job interview and you don't know how to look somebody in the eye and explain to them what you're able to do and how you're able to help the team or be a part of whatever business or whatever you're applying for, chances are you're not going to get that job.
Yeah.
Right.
So while obviously we want all our kids to be as smart as possible and reach their full potential, having these skill sets, these life skill sets are very important.
Yeah.
On the nutritional front,
Right.
I don't think it's a secret, right, that we are an unhealthy country right now,
Really?
right? I think you see, the heart disease, the diabetes, all this stuff. Every time I read studies on it, always appears to be off the chart.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm not passing any judgment because I can tell you I can afford to lose about 10 pounds myself,
Right.
But the reality is, if we instill these values in these kids at a young age, and they're learning this as a 11, 12, 13-year-old, right? This is something that hopefully they can carry on through adulthood, and they make better decisions when it comes to eating and nutrition and health, and understand the benefit of going to the gym.
Yeah.
Right? Or doing yoga.
Meditation.
Or meditation. Absolutely.
Just moving your body.
Or
just in
moving
general.
your body
Yeah.
around.
Right.
So I'm happy that we have some of these programs in some of our schools. I hope that we can certainly expand it.
Right.
To anybody out there looking for a partnership, please call me because we're always happy to deal with our local businesses and communities to partner up to allow these types of programs to exist in Broward. Because you know what?
Right.
It really does take a village.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
And the more we have from the community, the more resources we can offer our kids, the better off they're going to be.
You know, what I love too about that program is the mindfulness component, right? Because I think that's where a lot of us, including myself, right, we lack. And I think it's important to teach children at such a young age to be mindful of themselves, mindful of what I'm thinking about. Is this good for me? Is this bad for me? What am I watching? Is this good for me? Is it bad for me? And how it can impact you in your day-to-day life, right? So I love that component of it, and I think yoga and things like that, it is highly beneficial to young people and to all people really, but to learn while you're young, to be able to control yourself, to be able to control your mind
and quiet your mind.
Exactly. And it's discipline, right? That kind of thing is discipline, and I think that is what we are lacking in our society today, from kids all the way up to the adults, right?
Right.
And if we can implement those programs like we're doing now, I think we're going to be able to really save future generations. Yeah.
Drown out the noise. That's what we say in my house. Or drown out the noise.
Correct.
There's a very popular sound bath. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Dania Beach. It's very like 100 people go to it. It's really, really popular.
Yeah.
But I started going to that, and I noticed, again, it's just that simple thing of trying to quiet your mind, and I sleep better when I go, and it's just incredible. These things that you kind of think are hippy dippy, but they're really legitimate. You know what I mean? They really are. And one of the things that impressed me when I was talking with you, Adam, was your dedication to the school fitness, and you said that you wanted to encourage to have more. Maybe a little bit less class time, more walking around the track. Tell us your philosophy on school fitness.
So our kids do not get outside enough.
Yep.
They don't.
Yep.
And we're in Florida. We mentioned
and
it too,
we're in
right?
Florida. I mean, who wouldn't want constant 70, 75, 80 degree weather all the time, right? It's always gorgeous here.
Right.
And the reality is there's been a shift over the years. More and more instructional time, more and more testing, less PE, less recreational time outside. Now, I will tell you, when I grew up, I was very much into sports. Baseball and football were my go-to. So I was always outside. I was always very much looking forward to the PEs, right?
Okay.
Just to be able to get outside and do stuff and be active.
Right.
When I grew up, there was no such thing as social media.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? When I grew up, video games were there, but they weren't on the level that they are now.
Yeah.
And the problem is with a lot of these kids, when you keep them inside 24/7 between the home life and school,
Right.
This is where they get the dopamine.
Yeah.
Right. They get the dopamine from the video games and from the Facebook and the Instagram and the the X and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas my dopamine when I was their age came from running up and down the field, playing football with the guys at PE.
Right.
So I would love to see at a district level an incorporation of our kids being able to, maybe if it's a negligible amount of time, even 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Get these kids outside.
Yeah.
Find the time for it. And, they don't have to play a pickup game of basketball.
Yeah.
Just walk up and down the field.
Exactly.
Grab a friend.
Right.
Have a conversation. No cell phones.
Right.
Cell phones away. Have a conversation.
Yeah.
Walk around the track. Walk up and down the field. Just do something enjoying the weather.
Yeah.
Move your legs and get outside.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'll tell you, human beings are not meant to be confined to small, closed spaces.
Correct.
With no view of the outside world, right? We as a species need to be outside.
Yeah.
I make it a point, whether I'm working from home or whether I'm in my office, I will go outside at least once a day, and I'll just put the AirPods on. I'll do a call, and I'll just
Pace.
walk around the neighborhood or just pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Just to get outside, because there's only so much I can take of just being in, having the four walls,
Yeah.
confined, staring at a computer screen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It's too much. So I'm very much in favor of an expansion of that, because we see the health benefits too, well, don't
Right.
we?
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
We see the health benefits too. The forget the physical aspect. The physical is important.
Yeah.
But the mental aspect
Yes.
of just being out in the sun and getting
Right.
fresh air
Correct.
Right.
is huge.
Yeah.
So since you've taken office, obviously you've been interacting with parents and students. What are the number one things that come back to you over and over? The concerns. I know you mentioned the kids are talking about better school lunches and calorie counts and things, which I always found impressive. What are parents' concerns to you mostly when you meet with them?
Well, listen, I'm going to break this down in two buckets, right? The first bucket, usually it's unique to what little Johnny is going through. So
It's personalized.
It's personalized.
Yeah.
Okay. This teacher or this class or whatever. So I always try to do my best to get them to the right place, or if I can do anything personal, personally, I'm all for that. Generally, when parents come up to me, their problem is always with the fiscal management of the district.
Yeah.
Okay.
As taxpayers,
Right.
They are just disgusted
Right.
the way that we spend money.
Right.
And a lot of times I gotta politely interrupt them and be like, hey, we're on the same page.
Right.
Because they just assume I'm with the group, if you will.
The bureaucracy.
The
Right.
bureaucracy and the bureaucrats that are in favor of just, writing checks.
Right.
I'm not for that.
Right.
I believe that as a school board member in this district who's been entrusted with OPM, you know what OPM is, Will?
No.
Other people's money.
Right, okay,
Right?
okay.
That I have a responsibility to make sure that every dollar that we have in our budget is properly accounted for.
Right.
We need to have transparency in this district.
Yep.
We need to have accountability in this district. And we need the public to trust us
Yeah.
that with this $5.4 billion budget, we're going to be making the right decisions. And right now, and perhaps rightfully so, they don't trust us.
Right.
Right.
There's been a lot of wasteful spending.
Right.
There's been a lot of abuse within this district, which is why several weeks ago I held a press conference and I specifically called for the CFO of the state, Blaise Ngolia, to bring his Doge team down
Yeah.
to the Broward County Public Schools
Oh
Right.
yeah.
and do their thing with the Doge audit to
Yep.
find out how we can start righting this ship. Because right now we are heading down a path that there may not be a way back from.
Right.
So we got to figure this out very quickly, and we have to do it now. And, a lot of people tell me that, I like what you're saying, right? I hear you.
Yeah.
But, the governor in Tallahassee is this and that, and, his
Right.
political views may not align with my political views. And I tell people this all the time.
Right.
This is a nonpartisan issue.
Exactly.
Right. Of course.
I don't care if you're the leftist of Democrat or you're the rightist of Republican.
Right.
Right.
Making sure that this district is fiscally responsible
Yeah.
and
Right.
accountable and transparent with every dollar, that should be everybody's priority.
It's a fundamental issue.
Fundamental issue.
Yeah.
Nicole, what about, you're a parent. What are your concerns, or what do you hear from Sunrise parents about their concerns about Broward schools?
Yeah, that's a main concern that I hear oftentimes as
Fiscal
well.
responsibility.
Lack of fiscal responsibility,
Right.
lack of fiscal transparency.
Well, I think that's in government in general, right?
That
people,
is.
like people being overpaid. And,
Correct.
I was
Yeah.
talking to somebody in Lauder Hill. They were talking. The city manager makes $350,000 in such a small city.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense
Yeah.
sometimes. But go ahead with the concerns of parents there.
Yeah, I mean, the safety issue, that's
number one, right?
That's the number one issue,
course.
of course, right? They're just general concern, not saying that there's any safety issues that we are currently experiencing, but just
Right.
in general as an anxiety, right? I
course.
mean, I'm a parent, my kids are in school, I pray every day that my kids leave the house, that they come back home to me. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think that's just a general issue that we all have.
Right.
But also the fiscal accountability and transparency, especially when the whole graduation issue happened. And Adam, you did a great job with that. We thank you tremendously for what you did for our kids. I think that's when the eyes of the parents really started to open up, like, whoa, wait a second. How much is this going to cost? And we don't have that to, put in so that
Right.
our kids can properly graduate, right? So I think that a lot of eyes are opening up to the fiscal transparency and accountability. Those who are locked in, it is always their main concern. But
Right.
now people are just getting locked in.
Right.
And they're being able to see on social media. There's a lot of Facebook groups that
Right.
do a great job at exposing, the corruption and things that are happening. And not just at the school board level, like you said,
Right.
at the government level, especially in the municipal level as well. We
Right.
see that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is, a main thing. And also the life skills.
I agree with life skills.
Yeah, a
for
lot
sure.
of parents are concerned, hey,
Yeah.
Little Johnny, he's not going to know how to interact with his friends because he just likes to come home and play video games. Well,
Right.
again, that's a at-home issue, right? And we have to, reinforce it if we can at school. And I think that, what we're doing at the Broward County Schools, District 1, or not District 1, is it District 1?
District 6.
District 6. No, not District 6. What's the schools that are getting that right now? That are getting like the
Microphone.
Oh, Title I schools.
Thank you, Title
Sorry.
I.
Yes,
At the
Title I
Title I
schools.
level, I
Right.
think that's fantastic, and I'm hoping to see that trickles down to all the schools and all the districts. That way, everyone can have that same benefit. Yeah.
I think the seed thing is great, Adam. That should be one of your things to bring that to all the schools. Some sort of capacity. It's a nonprofit, right? It's
Yeah,
like
heal the planet.
Heal the Planet, which is like a great cause, and you could probably get other nonprofit partners to come with you.
Yeah, I'm all for the partnership aspect
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah.
So anybody out there that wants to join up with Broward County Public Schools,
Right, okay.
we'll put our my contact information in the social media when this ultimately posts, and feel
Right.
free to get in touch with me. I'm happy to have a conversation and sit down with you personally to see what you can offer, because the reality is we do better as a community
Yeah.
Right.
when everybody is invested in our kids.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking about life skills, and as I was doing some pre-interviews with Adam, he wasn't really up on TikTok. I was explaining to him how popular it is, especially among the youth. And there's
Yeah.
a couple creators here in Broward County that have huge following, including myself. I don't want to brag, but and I feel because I'm one of the few people in Broward that posts on TikTok, I get all these views because there's nobody else posting.
Yeah.
So I mentioned to Adam, why don't we consider what they do in China and Japan, where they work, with creators to create content, really strategically, stealth, to teach them life skills and work with these creators who are already popular with the young people and see them where they are. What do you think of that idea, Adam?
Well, I'll tell you, social media is here to stay.
Yeah.
Right. And just because, I'm an old guy who's not too tech savvy and is not
I'm
good
older
on,
than you.
You're
I'm
getting
on
there.
social
TikTok.
media,
Right.
it's here to stay, and we have to appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we have an opportunity to reach these kids
Right.
through a social media outlet
Yeah.
they're using,
Right.
we should 100% explore that. We can slip in a couple lessons here and slip in a couple lessons
Absolutely.
Yeah.
there. And we're at a point now where those videos they're generally quick hit videos, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like a 30-minute video.
No.
So if you could put a little snippet in here, a little snippet in there, and make it of interest,
Right.
Yeah.
and get on the what do they call it? The algorithm.
Yeah.
And get on these kids' algorithm where it's
Right.
always coming in and constantly feeding to them. I think that would be great. And any opportunity to give our kids information and knowledge and resources,
Yeah.
I'm all for.
Right.
Now, admittedly, I'm hoping that not all these kids are going home and immediately just jumping on social media, right?
Right.
And,
Right.
and that it's regulated in some way
Sure.
in the household.
Yeah. Right.
But let's be honest.
Right.
They're on it, whether
Yeah.
we like it or not.
Yeah.
So why not use that as an opportunity
Yeah.
for learning?
I agree.
What about your kids? Are they on TikTok a lot?
So my kids are not allowed to have social media.
Really? Well, they're younger though, right?
Well, so my son, he is now 19, so he has full liberty to do what he wants to. However,
Okay.
until they get 18 years old in our house, they are not allowed to have any social media.
When did you have it? 12 years old?
No, I had my son when I was 21.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, they are not allowed to have it whatsoever because I know what it can do to their young minds.
Well, the tech executives don't allow it, right? And
Right,
They're
correct.
kids. That's a good policy.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So, we are of the book.
Right, okay.
Family. We have Kindles. They're allowed to have Kindle,
Okay.
Kindle readers.
That's great.
Not like the
That's
Kindle
great.
iPads. So that's what they're allowed to have.
Right.
They are allowed on the computer and things of that sort, but it is monitored and it is timed.
Right.
Unless they are doing schoolwork. If they're doing schoolwork, they have to sit at the kitchen counter where they can be, monitored. Not all the time. I'm there on the couch or my husband's there on the couch and we
Right.
can see what they're doing from the laptop and things of that sort. So
Right.
we are definitely vigilant when it comes to that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well,
That's great.
Adam and I are planning on doing a little, working with a local creator, very popular, directed by Junior. We're going to do a cafeteria story about school lunches. And let's dive into school lunches because
Yeah.
Adam, like a lot of good news on that front too, because you guys just recently updated the menu to make it more user friendly, I should say, like bistro, restaurant style. You got chicken Caesar wrap, got a lot of new things in the menu. Tell us about the school lunch program.
And tastier, by the
And
way.
yeah, well, you don't
I
want
might
them throwing
add.
it out, right?
So I will tell you, we have obviously a food services and nutrition department, and we're always looking to beat that stereotype
Yeah.
about how cafeteria food is not as tasty as perhaps some other foods. We all lived that growing up. That everyone thought, the cafeteria, it's gross. Nobody wants to eat in the cafeteria. Incidentally, I'm a proud product of the Broward County Public School System.
Same.
Elementary, middle, and high school, and I ate all my meals in the cafeteria.
Mexican Pizza
growing
Friday?
Mexican Pizza
Love
Friday.
that.
was
Love it.
popular, right?
So good.
Love it.
I still think about that.
A lot of people mention the Mexican pizza.
So good.
Classic. It is the classic.
Is that still served,
So
Adam?
it is still served.
Oh,
Very
is it?
much still served. Yeah. So we try to be innovative and come up with things, and we work with local groups
Right.
from produce and even some of the bigger companies around town.
Yeah, Homestead, you were talking about the farms. you work
Absolutely.
with,
We
right, to be
have
local.
local produce that comes up from Homestead. We also have some bakeries in Miami-Dade County that we have partnerships with.
Right.
And I think it's important to give kids two things. Variety, number one.
Yes.
Listen, let's face it, not everybody's going to like the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. So having that variety will draw them in because we want them to eat our lunches because we feel that we offer healthy alternatives, right? I would argue that eating school lunch in the cafeteria is a lot better for you than just bringing a Lunchable
Yes.
with the processed meats
Yeah.
and cheeses and stuff
Yep.
like that for your lunch on a daily basis.
Yes.
So we want our kids to come in and eat at the cafeteria, right? So we've got to give them things that are tasty and it's going to draw them in. So one of the things that we've been implementing is almost like an a la carte type of situation.
Okay.
So we'll provide variety between fruits, vegetables, obviously your main course, different types of milks and juices, and we'll let the kids actually pick. I remember kind of back in the day, you were given a tray and here's the lunch,
Right.
That's right.
And there
Yeah.
was
Sorted on
this is
there.
what it is, and
Right.
you ate what you wanted, and that was it.
Yeah. Right.
Nowadays, they have a lot more options.
Yeah.
Right.
So you'll see kids. I'll tell you, well, you and I have discussed this.
Right.
One of my initiatives that I've done in this role is I have a program called Principal for a Day, where I'll go to the schools and I'll basically participate in a lot of different activities. I'll meet with teachers, I'll meet with students, and I always make it a point to stop by the cafeteria and have lunch.
Right.
Right. Which is always delicious, by the way. And I'll also help serve lunch. So I have firsthand knowledge of what these kids are coming in because
Right.
I'll sit there for 10, 15 minutes
Right.
and distribute the foods.
Right.
And I'll tell you, they're very particular. I'll take this. No, I don't want that. I'll take this. And that's good.
Yeah.
Because what that does is, number one, they're taking the stuff that they like, which is a higher probability that they're going to eat it.
Yeah.
And number two, you're reducing some of this waste, right?
Right.
Obviously, nobody likes to see anybody throw out food.
Right.
Right. So when we give the kids these options to pick and choose what they want, the probability of them actually eating everything as opposed to just taking it and dumping it, I think is higher. And I will tell you, in my schools, I sit down and I watch the kids in the cafeteria.
Right.
Those kids are eating.
And you
They
tried a
they
couple of
eating.
things, the chicken Caesar
Try
salad.
the chicken the chicken
wrap?
Caesar wraps.
Okay.
I've tried. Chicken tenders. that's a staple, right?
Right, okay.
That's a given.
That's right.
And even some of our more basic, sandwiches and things like that.
Right.
They are very tasty. They are very tasty, and I feel like there's a bad rap that's been brewing for decades. The old joke, it's it's gross, it's cafeteria food. But I would encourage anybody, any student, to eat our to come in for lunch, eat our foods, and tell me you don't like it, because chances are you're going to find something that you like.
Now, compared to other school systems, is Broward considered to be one of the better food places? Like, because I know Governor race James Fishback's mentioning about lunches being terrible in Florida, but it sounds like ours are pretty good in Broward. Have you seen other districts' lunches?
Listen, I mean, I haven't seen a ranking of what the best school lunch is.
We should do that.
We should, right?
A food tour.
Might win.
I can tell you, in all honesty, and I meet with kids a lot. We have, whether it's on the dais or we have our panels where we bring in students to speak to us on a regular basis, or whether I'm just, out and about at schools. Kidding aside, I get very few complaints about the food. I really do.
Yeah, if anything, you said it during a forum, they were asking for, high nutrition
that is what I will get. I will get the occasional ask. We'll be like, well, do we have anything that has less calories in it?
Yeah.
Is there maybe a more expansive salad option that we can have? I get they ask for kale quite a bit too.
Really?
Like a kale salad.
Students?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Wow.
So our kids are
That is impressive.
Our kids are definitely mindful of what's going on, nutritional options. And we'll continue to work with our department to grow and have more selections, fresh produce, and fresh non-processed foods within reason.
Now, I did a little research, Adam, and looked into other school systems, and I guess the number one for nutritionally dense meals is New York, and number two is California, as far as and they really do almost do like a restaurant quality. It's pretty amazing. But in Birmingham, they do a unlimited salad bar and fruit bar, and it's done with a private-public partnership, and it made me think about we have Publix here. I was talking to somebody, an executive at Publix, and they were telling me, I was telling them the idea, and they were like, we throw out so much produce and fruit every day at Publix. Like 5,000 per store.
Wow.
Like per day. And that all could be, repurposed and not going to landfill. And maybe, even if not the kids don't use the salad bar, just have it as an additional, enhancement to whatever they're having. The chicken wrap, they can go to the salad bar and have unlimited fruit and salad. But I mean, Publix is so successful and they're in every neighborhood. This seems like a logistical no-brainer that we should be reaching out to them and doing some partnerships.
I love it. And Publix is based out of Lakeland, right in the middle of the state. So that'd be that whole Florida connection. So Publix, if you're out there, please call me. I'd love to partner with you and take some of that produce off of your hands
instead of throwing
and
it
give
out
it to your kids instead of throwing it out. Absolutely.
I mean,
love the idea.
The other thing too is, brand loyalty starts young. I mean, it would be in their best interest to have a presence in the store.
Sponsored by Publix.
Do pub subs.
On Fridays.
Pub subs
Wow.
on Friday.
That could be like
That'll get the attendance rates skyrocketing.
that would be some national publicity too for the school system, which would be really cool.
Love it.
Pub
Love
sub
it.
Friday.
What are your kids' favorite foods?
They vary.
Okay.
We like a lot of Asian cuisine.
Okay, me
so yeah, they love that. But as a matter of
Sushi?
fact,
Do they like
yes, they love
really?
sushi. Yeah, yeah.
That's unusual for a kid.
I know. Yeah.
They're sophisticated.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, their school has a salad bar.
Okay.
That's where my kids live.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
they go to a charter school,
Okay.
and that charter school has always had a salad bar option. So that's
okay.
always what my kids have eaten, and they enjoy it. And a lot of kids actually enjoy it in the school, not just them. It's very popular. So salad bar option is fantastic. So
Love it.
if you look at your local charter schools in your district, you can probably get some tips from them.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.